Good morning, everybody. The day has come. It's the day I'm actually dropping off a beautiful king for his surgery tomorrow. We've actually just pulled in and just arrived at the vet's. So I'm going to go to reception first. I'm meeting one of the vets that handled his case last time, and we're going to be doing a lameness assessment. That was just at my request because I would like the team here to kind of have a good understanding of where he's at in terms of his lameness and his movement, alongside with my own vets back at home, just so we're on the same page. And then unfortunately, the not so nice part is we're going to have to leave him here and pick him up either tomorrow or the day after. We'll have to hear post-surgery what they want to do, if they want to hold him for a day just to keep him under observation, or perhaps not because this surgery isn't as intensive. But I'm just going to quickly head to reception. I've got his passport here with me, and we're going to see a little bit if they're ready for him or if we have to wait a little bit. Got Mr. King out. He's on his best behavior. Hey, we're just waiting for the vet to come up, and then we'll have a little lameness assessment. Huh, buddy? Yeah, look how well behaved he is. He's a bit dirty, which is unlike me to bring a dirty horse, but yeah, what can you do? Hey, what can you do? Didn't want to make you all wet so early in the morning when it's still cold. Good boy. Well, everything has gone well so far with the checkup. We ran him up, ran him up. He was good. And after that, we did a little ultrasound, looked at everything. That all looked good, no new discoveries. So tomorrow, I don't have a time yet, but tomorrow he will be operated on. I think I will actually leave him here the day after to be, well, or that day to be observed. And then I'll pick him up the following day. It's just going to be a little bit easier. Also that I know that he's being monitored just for how he comes out of anesthesia and how the surgery goes and everything. My big sweetie pie, he got the sweet this time. We have a really nice stable. They were saying to me that he's a big boy, so they gave him a nice big stable this time. And they're just grabbing him some food. I'm gonna miss this little playful face at home. This big sweetie pie. I'm gonna miss you, buddy. With your pink lips, your pink big lips. He's been behaved absolutely superbly. Like, he's been behaving so well here. So easy, so calm, so sweet, so easy to do everything. You're making me very proud. Yes, you are. Yes. I'm gonna love him and leave him. And then keeping our fingers crossed, and we will hear tomorrow how the surgery went. Hopefully it all goes smoothly and well, but I think so. I don't see why it shouldn't. Hey, beautiful boy. I'll see you in 2 days. I'll see you in 48 hours. The next day now, and I have rung up the vets this morning. I'm probably like the client most vets don't want, because I'm like calling him like, when is the surgery planned? How is he going? Is he doing okay? But I just really want to know these things. But they reassured me he's doing fine. Everything is going okay. He's scheduled for this afternoon. They don't have a specific time because they had an emergency surgery come through. But sometime this afternoon he will be having his operation. But I know King's in good hands. So that's all fine. I just like to have my tap a little bit on the situation. We had an exciting morning here, however. We had, I feel like we've talked quite a lot about our resident owl. There is a nesting box up here, which is a registered nesting box here in the Netherlands, which is looked after by this conservation group. And there's a pair of barn owls that breed up in that nesting box. Last year, we were able to be here when the group comes to check on them. They remove the owls from the nest. They take all sorts of measurements, tag them. That way they can keep track of numbers and how they're doing. And this morning, we got a visit from them again. How old do you think these ones are now?
60 days.
60 days. And at what age do they leave the nest? At what age do they leave the nest?
Between 60 and 70.
Oh, soon. Ah, that'll be sad. It's kind of nice at night hearing them. Yeah. It was really nice to see that this year there was a nest of 4. So the breeding pair here has been successful. I was talking to the lady who's kind of like handling this whole operation, and she was telling me that they've bred quite early this year, so there's a high likelihood that they'll have a second nest and hatch out a couple more. I was also asking her, I said, you know, how big can these what are they called? Litters? Nests? I don't know what they're called, but like how many are they raising? And she's like up to 10 babies, which I thought was pretty exceptional because they're very loud at night. And we only had 4, so I can only imagine what kind of choir we would have been dealing with had we had 10 of them. But all the babies looked healthy. They were actually already 60 days old or around that mark, which means they were about ready to start leaving the nest and flying on their own. Some were already flying on their own. Obviously, everything is done as delicately as possible when they are taken. What they do first is they kind of trap the entrance hole so that they can't go out. Then they lift the top of the nesting box and slowly they grab them from inside and place them in a bag. That way they stay calm. They're actually very docile looking birds. Like they're not really attacking, fighting. Once you have the babies, they're pretty easygoing and chill. Once they're down here, all sorts of measurements begin in terms of feather measurements, how heavy they are, they're tagged, all these kind of things, and everything is recorded down. And then they are quietly and safely put back in the nesting box. The lady who came here observed that the nesting box was actually quite dirty. It was staying very humid and there was a really big buildup of feces. So she actually ended cleaning all of that out as well and placing some new bedding in there. But it's so nice to see every time because it's such cute little birds. And this nest was quite dark, but I remember from the birds we saw last year, some of them were quite light. So you also never know what kind of shade you get when it comes to the barn owls. But we actually really enjoy having them here. I mean, they are a bit of a nuisance, hence owl poo here. But to be honest, the joy they bring back in return is far greater than a little bit of dirtiness. So we just have to kind of keep up with the cleaning and just enjoy having them here. It's really fun at night because we will just be hanging out with the horses doing final hay around midnight or something. And then you'll see the parent fly out and just in the matter of a couple of minutes, they come back with something. Like they're incredible hunters. So it's been a really, really fun journey and really nice to have them. And I'm actually going to, I don't know if I'll get around to it this year, but maybe in the autumn or winter, I will place a lot of nesting boxes around here because I want to attract, I heard a pair of tawny owls. I want to attract some long-eared owls. I would like to just get more birds going here, especially because I've got my app flying out every instant that I can. So I think we're going to be setting up a lot more nest boxes and try and get some more activity going on around here. I just love the sound of owls at night. It sounds so nice. I will say barn owls sound like someone's getting murdered. It's like a screech, but I love like a hooting owl. That's really nice. We had heaps of those at our old house where we used to live in the north of the Netherlands. But I'm going to try and kind of keep myself distracted because I am a little bit just nervous about this whole king situation. And in order to keep myself distracted, I thought we would do a project that I kind of like, I've been holding off on doing it, but I think the time has come. This hedge around our arena is struggling, and I was talking to Jess and I said, listen, I think it would actually really help it if we prune it back by 1/3. That way the plant can send more energy into its roots and new shoots rather than like, yeah, keeping alive what is there. So I think that's what we're going to be doing today. I called Jesse because he's not, he's in Belgium. I called him just to make sure. I said, hey, listen, are you 100% also okay with this? Are you fine with it? And he was. So I'm gonna get my pruners out and we're gonna start clipping it all back. I think it's gonna look better anyway, because to be honest, the top of it is quite sparse because that's only 1 year's growth. So I think pruning it will tighten it up. It will make sure that it comes back thicker anyway, and it might just send a little bit more energy down to the roots. So we're gonna see how that goes. I've got my just kind of like regular head shears, and I'm also bringing this down because there will be some bigger stuff I'm gonna have to get into. Love these. It's like an automatic cutter, but you can cut your finger off so easily with this, so you do have to be very careful. Right, let's head down there and see how much we're actually gonna take off. As I said, I'm thinking 1/3, but I want to have a better look and maybe do a little test patch. We can always start longer and take more off, but once it's off, you can't put it back. I was really like, we had put so much effort into this hedge. I was like so hopeful that it was gonna be lush and green and beautiful, and the fact that it's struggling kind of is breaking my heart. So I do hope that this helps. Like that's all I'm hoping for. We've had quite a lot of moisture at the moment, which I hope has actually helped some of these plants try and bounce back out of whatever lull and struggle they're in. There's a lot that are still trying to come through, and like as you can see, there's a mixture of green and then a little bit of dead and things that have buds on them that maybe are still going to come. Maybe, I mean, there's going to be a lot, I think, that we actually have to change out and replant. But I'm thinking of going like this. That's what I'm thinking. Taking all of that top growth off, just all at this level. We'll start obviously from that side and just start to clean it up. I'll shear the sides a tiny bit if there's any stragglers or outliers, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. That's where my head's at. I just really want to give this a fighting chance, and I think in order to do that, I've got to take a bit off. And it also means that when I buy whatever I need to replant, it doesn't need to be that big either, so that's good. Yes, I am in my riding clothes doing this, but that's because this is a horse property, of course. So why? This is my uniform. This is the daily uniform. Okay, I think we're just gonna get stuck in. This should be quite satisfying to see. Hopefully it's going to be. So we're gonna get stuck in, and I really hope this comes out well. Fingers crossed. that was actually incredibly satisfying to do. It felt like when people have these like messy haircuts and all of a sudden they go to the, or me, and all of a sudden you go to the hairdresser and you think, why didn't I not do that sooner? And I was talking to Yes about it because it's the next day and he's back home. And he's actually not minding the height of it either. It looks actually really neat, and it gives you a little bit more the ability when you're in the arena to see out onto the rest of the property, and also to look into the arena a little bit better. But this is what it's looking like. I was having a really good examination of the hedge, and I'm gonna take you over to this side. Now you can see that when you kind of come in now, you don't have this big kind of blocking. You start to get like a good view out into the indoor straight away, which I'm really enjoying. And it has tightened and neatened up everything because the hedge on like kind of the 2/3 underneath of what we cut, so the remainder of the hedge, is much thicker than those little straggly bits that were on top. So you can see that we're getting a nice, neat and tidy hedge. Of course, it's quite difficult to cut now because it is still sparse. So when you cut some bits, it makes it look uneven quite quickly. But that's all gonna improve once it actually fills out. But I will take you to some, so you see these little stragglers, but it's actually all starting to bloom and come out. You can see it on bits like this. So I'm a little bit into, I mean, there's ones that are like, this is just dead. You can also see it from the cuts. So that one has to get replaced. But there's a bunch of them that are all still just coming out, just like this. So I think we just have to give it a bit more time. And see how it goes. And predominantly all of this side is all like this. It's all in its coming out stage. If anyone has experience with this hedge, is this coming out properly or is this going to just die? Because we've had some come out and then just immediately die. But again, what I think we do have to do is give it some time. There is some, like I said, that are just clearly dead. This one actually is not dead. There is some life to it down here because I can see that there's shoots coming out. But I am going to start placing a small order for the ones that we know are not going to make it, already gone, not going to come back, so we can start to slowly swap them out because it will be a big job starting to do this. So I might order like 100, 200 plants to just start swapping them out bit by bit. But actually, I don't mind this. It doesn't look too bad. And Yes and I are going to soon finish up the mulching on this side to kind of like tidy it up. So that should also help bring it all together anyway. And I've got a bunch of weeding to do. Just like I knew that we would get a bunch of weeds this year. I kind of like prepared myself for it, but there is a lot that we're going to have to do. So I think one of these days, me, Yes, and maybe Caroline, that works for us. We're just going to spend an hour out here and just start tidying it up as much as we can. But you know what? I'm not minding this. I'm not minding the fact that you can kind of like also peek over the hedge now, over to the house and over to the lawns. It looks pretty good. I also received good news this morning that King has come out of surgery really well. They called me yesterday to tell me that. And of course, you know, once coming out of surgery, they stay monitored for a while. So I got a call this morning saying everything is looking really good with King. He's ready to be picked up. He's recovered really well. He's stable. He's doing good. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time out here just finessing this hedge this morning and getting rid of like a couple of little clippings, a little bit of unevenness. And then later on, we're going to be heading to King and picking him up and seeing how he's recovered. They did tell me that they had to make a little bit of a bigger incision than last time just because they had to clean everything up, and that there was like a half-size orange ball swelling on the interior that they cleaned up as well. Whilst the vet was in there with the incision, she took a look at the tendon as well, and she said that's looking good, no new damage, recovering well. So I'm very happy to hear that actually. Yeah, but I'm gonna bring you guys to Jesse because I want you guys to hear firsthand his opinion on the current height of the hedge and how that's looking. I'm here with the man of the hour. I wanted to get your opinion. I'm going to give you the mic in a sec, but I wanted to get your opinion first on the hedge because, of course, this does cut into your ability to do like Liberty work. I don't think it does. 1 second here. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm very tired. I hardly slept last night. And I just sat down, so excuse my everything. I don't know if it changes the liberty work because I don't really have jumping horses.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I don't think I mean, for Macho it doesn't matter, and Gaio I don't think would jump.
But what do you think of it?
I think it looks nice. I mean, I was a bit shocked this morning because you said 1/3.
I did take out 1/3.
Yeah, at least, and a bit more, I think.
No.
But I think you did a really good job, and you did a lot. And when I was riding this morning, especially then, it looks nice. So I'm excited for you to ride, because from the ground it's nice, but with the riding it makes a bigger difference.
Okay.
Looks very nice and tidy.
Okay. Thank you for the interview, sir. We heard it from the horse's mouth first, didn't we? Right. Well, I'm gonna let you hang with Annie then, and I think I'm gonna leave soon to go get King.
You need me to come or not?
No, you don't have to come. I'm gonna go alone. All by myself. Yeah, it's not a problem. Yeah. We have arrived. Gosh, that drive just never gets easier. It's like an hour and 45 minutes-ish, an hour and a half. But it just never ends. It's relentless. I've got everything. I've got his... Oh, I always forget that this truck is not keyless entry. I also always forget that I have to put the key in, because none of my other cars have that you have to put like the key in the engine. What a first world problem. But what's really nice about my vets, I honestly, so you guys know I always use 𝒋𝒏𝒚 for like all of my things, but they just are quite far. Also for the horses to travel after surgery and stuff, like they're 3 hours from us, so it's quite a big commitment going there. I still really like them, but shout out to these vets. I'm not sponsored. I'm doing just paying everything privately, but it's called 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒐𝒘. It's a clinic here in the Netherlands. They are so good. And you receive a whole report about like how the surgery went, exactly what they did, like a little rehab report of what you have to do. And I was just having a quick look when I was with the secretary. And what's really funny is that they have like all of your horse's information, including their weight, like how much they weigh. How much do you think King weighs? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. I'll wait. 777 kilograms. So nearly 800 kilos is how much he weighs. Bloody hell, that's a big horse. That's a big horse. But I'm gonna read you when we're home. I'm actually gonna read you everything in terms of like exactly what they did for the people who are interested in what the aftercare says that we have to do. But for now, we're just gonna go to the stable, which is around the corner, pop him in, and drive him home. I hope we find him in good condition. Bless him. He's got his fresh hay. Bedding. Good. Here he is, my big boy. Oh, here's my big boy. Hi. Hi, big sweetie pie. Hi, I missed you. The whole place wasn't the same without you at home. Good boy. Right, let's take a look at your leg. What's going on here? We've got another giant cast. Right, very good. His body looks pretty good, actually, considering everything. I need to get your tail guard. Crap, I hope I remembered it. I think I did. I need to definitely get the tail guard. Right, let's go grab that. Okay, we're all set to go. Tail wrap on. If I don't put this on, he will literally have no tail left. So that's definitely had to go on with his little sack. Good thing he doesn't have a long tail, because that sack ain't long. Okay, I'm gonna put his halter on, and then we're gonna be off. Time to go home. not very settled coming here. He was just very impatient, actually. Easy now. There he is with his huge bandage. Boy, good boy, nice and easy. This tail got slipped, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to need to get that silicone tail wrap instead because I just can't get this one to sit properly.
Oh yeah.
And then it doesn't do its job. Excuse me, we're a little close. Good boy. Very good boy. Nice to have you home. Oh, at least it didn't rub that much. Good boy, welcome back. Good boy. Alright, well that was useless. I mean, I think for a while it worked, but I don't know for how long. Good boy. Right, I thought I would read you guys the report now that we're back on exactly what happened. This will be a little bit more technical, but at least you guys will be able to understand what's going on. Okay, let's run through the history of actually why he went there first. So he had a synovial herniation of the most proximal portal after his previous surgery. So that was like the wound incision area. That's what he had. That was the issue, which I showed you guys. And in the surgery, what they did is that there was a defect in the sheath wall of approximately 0.5 centimeters. And this was closed. And the synovial lining was resected from the surrounding tissues. The defect was closed in 4 layers. The closure was leak tested, no leaks. Closure of the proximal portal in 2 layers. A double layered bandage was placed, which I think it actually has been changed again since then. Obviously it says that when he was hospitalized there, he was on antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, and I have to keep him on anti-inflammatories for 7 days. It's also telling me 7 days after surgery, we need to change this bandage again. Horse should be kept on stable rest for the first 2 weeks in a clean and dry stable. I need to also monitor his temperature that it stays below 38.5. If the horse becomes lame, please contact your vet at home or a clinic immediately for advice. The sutures are absorbable and will dissolve fallout on their own, so we don't have to do anything for that, which is good. Now, in terms of rehab for this, I did talk to the vet already. Basically, I have it here, but basically what she said, to make a long story short, is full stable rest for 2 weeks with a little bit of hand walking, just like 2 to 5 minutes twice a day. And then by week 2 or 3, the skin should have been fully healed. If under the right conditions outside, it's not muddy, it's clean, he can go out after 2 weeks. And I can start resuming a little bit of light lunging, which is what you guys saw that I was doing before him going into surgery. And I will lunge him for 2 weeks, build it up to the point where he's being lunged 10 minutes each side. Currently, he's only being lunged 5 to 6 minutes each side, so I'll build it up to 20. Once I'm up to 20 minutes being lunged per day, I can start to get on his back and ride him. And she actually recommended that I start just hacking him out for the first couple of weeks, and do some walking, do some trotting out. She said to go nowhere where it's like deep surfaces, but definitely go on uneven surfaces, up and down hills. That's going to be really good for him for his rehab. So that's going to be what we do, which I'm actually really looking forward to because I've really missed trail riding. And since I bought him and I started doing trail riding again, I've really enjoyed it. And then we'll just build him up from there. And then obviously what takes precedent after that is actually his tendon injury rather than the skin surgery he had now, because that's actually quite superficial. Once that closes, it's done. It's a done deal. At least it should be. Why is the electric mower making that sound? But that's where we're at. So we're gonna just kind of monitor him for the next couple of days. I will say he's a little bit, not irritated, but he's a little bit like out of sorts, a bit impatient. I think they're a little bit discombobulated when they come out of surgery. and they've been put under. Like what I was explaining to you guys is that like their whole body ecosystem is completely thrown off. Imagine having a very severe jet lag. It must be something like that, especially because they are such sensitive animals. But yeah, we're just gonna take our time with him, make sure he's happy, entertained, lots of grooms, lots of hanging out, and just hopefully these 2 weeks will fly by and then he'll be able to go out again. For now, I'm just glad he's home. That's like, I'm so glad that he's in our care. His soul, his energy, his liveliness is around us again. And I reckon these 2 weeks are actually gonna fly by. Hey, they're gonna fly by. And you'll make a full recovery because you're a big, healthy young boy, aren't you?